If you would have told me 2 months ago that I would have been making $1,900 on Depop, I would have told you were lying. Not the truth. Don't believe it. No way. Not possible. I'm gonna give you some tips and advice of what I did in my first month to make almost $2,000. So I figured I would share with you guys just businesswoman ways or businessman ways of how to make money on Depop. So why did I choose Depop? Why not Instagram, Poshmark, all those things? I have sold on Poshmark before. I wouldn't recommend this Poshmark as they take way more money from you. I felt like I was barely making any money, like $3-4 from selling an item, which I think is absolutely insane. Like, these are my clothes. How are you gonna take so much freaking money from me for something I'm selling? I think Poshmark takes about 10% of what you make, whereas Depop takes about 5%, which is still insane, and I'll talk about that more towards the end. I also have thought about selling on Instagram. I just haven't figured out the whole mojo dojo of it, of course, because I do a lot of my shipping through Depop, and I haven't figured out exactly how I would do my shipping if I did it on Instagram. I need to get more into marketing myself on Instagram. I know a lot of people do like live sells, so my first piece of advice would be sell clothes that you would wear. When I've gone thrifting and I went to go like resell clothes, I go thrifting specifically so I can resell the clothes. And I'll be like, wow, this is so cute. I want to keep this. And I have to fight this battle with myself and say, no, Riley, you're not going to keep this. It's cute. You have enough clothes for yourself, but this is going to make you good money. And I'm sure whatever you would buy, other people would buy it. So a while ago, I was obsessed with Brandy Melville. I was like, anything Brandy Melville, I will buy it. So I've been really on the lookout for brands like Brandy Melville or Lululemon. I've kept a few Lululemon things just because they're really cute. I don't typically buy that kind of stuff for myself, and I'm like, would I rather make that money or would I rather keep it? If you would buy it, then there's definitely like people who would buy it. You have to be a consumer in order to be a producer. So you have to know what your audience wants to buy in order for you to sell things. Of course, you're not gonna reach every single individual in their tastes. You could sell different like trendy clothing and vintage clothing. But what I say is pick up stuff you know is selling or stuff you see on Pinterest. I found 3 Ralph Lauren crew necks with like the flag on it that I've seen on Pinterest a lot, and I tried to buy it on the Ralph Lauren website, and it is so expensive. And I was like, there's no way that I would buy this for myself. And I was at the bins and I found 3 at the Goodwill bins, and I found 3 Ralph Lauren sweaters. I kept one for myself, guilty as charged. But I found 2 navy blue ones and a white one. I sold the navy blue one for $85 and the white one for $75. And that's after all the like Depop fees. That's how much I actually made from them. I think I sold it for like $10 more. I wouldn't have known or picked up those sweaters if I didn't think that they would sell for a lot. I didn't know that it was something that other people were looking at, other people wanted. It was going for a lot of money. You can't just buy it off the website for cheap. So next piece of advice I have is pictures. Everyone talks about it, and honestly, I would say you don't have to have like an aesthetic feed. Sure, maybe it could help. I've only sold, I probably should have stated this in the beginning, I've sold 93 items in the past month. And my photos, some of them are the same, a lot of them are different. I have some where it's on my bathroom floor, my wood flooring, and just pictures of that with my light on in my bathroom, and I just take pictures like that. I've taken some in my living room, half rug, half wood, just because I want them to see the contrast. I took pictures with them on me because I wanted to see if it would change the results of how fast things sold. And honestly, I can say that most of my items didn't sell for as much. So I honestly don't think it really matters whether it's on you or on your floor or on your bed. I have some on my bed as well. Like, I have a whole array of places that I took pictures of my clothing. Another piece of advice I would give to you is refreshing your feed. After things are sold, you kind of want to move them to the bottom. If you shop on Depop, you've probably seen like you'll scroll, and then at the bottom it'll be a bunch of like clothing that has sold. It just gives people a better look at like all the stuff you still have available rather than all the things that you've sold, because most people won't care about that. They just want to see what you have selling right then. It takes a lot of time, to be honest, and I don't do this all the time. I can get pretty bad about it. Scroll all the way to the bottom and I press edit, and I just put a space in it, and it goes all the way back to the top. Sometimes I discount my items just because I've noticed like, hey, I've had this listed for a while, it's not selling, I have had people like it or offers, or maybe not at all. I'm gonna discount it and people will see that it's on sale or discounted, and Depop will kind of promote it in a way. It makes it basically new. So after you do this, you'll see that you got a bunch more likes. It seems like it's a whole new post. The next thing I would talk about is reviews. In the beginning, I sold my stuff for a lot cheaper just because I didn't have any reviews, and I didn't think that my stuff would sell if I didn't have reviews. I sold it for a lot cheaper until I was able to get a couple reviews, and then I started selling my stuff for a little bit higher because now people know that I'm credible. They know that I'm actually shipping out the item. I'm not scamming them of money. They know they can count on me to get their item to them. I'm now credible. I can sell it for more. I have 5 stars. In order to get those reviews is I text people right as I send out all my packages. So right as I drop off my packages at the post office, I'm like, hey girl, or hey dude, I just dropped off your package. Just wanted to let you know. And most of the time they're like, cool, thanks for letting me know. They just like to know. People like to know when their package just got dropped off. I would want to know if my package got dropped off so I can look forward to it getting tracked. Once it says that it's been delivered, I message them like, hey, I'd love to check in. I just want to make sure, did you get your package? And most of the time they're like, yes, thank you so much for checking in. Thank you, I love it. I'm going to leave you an awesome review. I have like 18 reviews and I've sold 93 items. Next thing I want to talk about is pricing your items. This can be kind of a tricky one. Obviously in the beginning I would aim a little lower. I aim high and I sell for lower. So let's say I had those Ralph Lauren sweaters. I had them selling for $100. And I think I sold the Ralph Lauren one for $95 or $90. I put it at $100 so people can offer me, or I can offer other people less money, because when you interact with people who like your items, you're more likely to sell it. So let's say I had these Anastasia Brandy Melville sweats. I am a big Brandy Melville fan. I'm just putting that out there if that's not been obvious before. These Brandy Melville sweatpants, and they're selling for like $30. So I'm gonna put it up there, 25. Okay, but they have like a little stain on them, so I'm gonna put them on for 20. And then I'll see where it goes from there. So I sold those Anastasia sweatpants for $16, $18. No, it was $18 and I made 15 off of it. So just never know what actually the money you can get from it. Sometimes you'll be like, dang, I should have sold that for more because that sold really, really fast. For shipping, typically I try to get it out same day if I have time that day. Just run a little errand, package up as many as I can. I also do live 5 minutes away from a post office, so it is so much easier for me to say than other people. On my way into work or when I get off of work, I'll just drop them off. And the post office people are so nice, so it's super easy. I just put it in there. If they're busy, they'll deal with it later. Try to ship it off next day or the day of. I try to go once a day. And if I already went, when someone buys something, I'm like, hey, I already dropped off my packages for the day. I will ship yours out tomorrow. And the thing I love about Depop is that they create the shipping labels for you, so you don't have to actually deal with anything. You just print it out at home. I cut them out, just print it from my phone, cut it out, and then I get packing tape and I just tape the whole front. I bought my packaging, I'm not sure, I think it was like $16, but it came with 100 like pieces, which it doesn't work for everything because a lot of people create bundles, so I have to go get a box, which costs me money, but it's also making me money because it's less time and effort I have to put into sending out certain clothes items. With the packaging, I put them in. Sometimes I like to slip in a sticker if it's a Brandy Melville item, because that's one of the main things that I promote that I sell is Brandy Melville and Lululemon. I like to add like a Brandon Melville sticker in with it, just like extra stickers I've gotten when I went to the store or other people have sent to me. People just like having like little goodies in there, and most of the time they'll leave a good review because of it. Also want to make sure that if the item had a hard time getting into the packaging, that you tape over any like loose ends or maybe any rips in the bag, and try not to have any rips in the bag because presentation is really important, and people will leave reviews like, hey, the packaging is super cute, hey, I love the packaging. Makes it super exciting for them. Now I'm going to talk about how I source my items. How I source my items is the only way that I suggest going about it. I go to the Goodwill bins. I don't do anything else. I've sold stuff from my closet, or I've sold stuff from the Goodwill bins. And why I say the Goodwill bins is because they sell it by the pound. It's not per the item. There's been days where I've found 6 Lululemon items in there. It's crazy because they'll ship things in from other states. For mine, they rotate it every 30 minutes, so there's constantly new bins to search through. It takes a little digging, and you need to look through everything. Like, absolutely everything. Even if you go to a bin that's maybe not a new bin, other people may have not searched it as well as you. So I've had times where I've searched and I've been like, wow, there's a Brandy Melville dress that nobody picked up, or John Galt. There's been times where I'm like, oh, there's another Lululemon thing, another Lululemon, oh my gosh. Like, where is this all coming from? Who blessed me today? So yeah, I would just search through everything, and don't let people push you around. People are crazy. You have crazy other reseller guys. I've had reseller guys walk past like to the new bins, and they're like, these resellers gonna eat these people for lunch, and I'm like, bro, what is you talking about? Like, what? you are a 20-year-old boy. Like, I know places like Plato's Closet sells clothes. It's just, you're buying it for a lot more, so you don't know if you're gonna actually make money from it. You don't know how much those items are actually gonna sell for. Even if I got 50 pounds of clothes, as long as I'm making more than $50 on reselling those 50 pounds of clothes, as long as I'm making more than $50 on the $50 of clothes that I bought, then I've made money. Also, another piece of advice is I always try to make sure that my items do not sell for less than $10. This isn't always the case. I cannot always sell things for $10 or more, but I've got it down to a science. So I've done the math, and in order to make $100, you need to sell 12.5 items for $8. And on Depop, if you want to sell something for $8 or a little more, you need to sell it for at least 10. You sell 13 items and you're at 100, and you sell 13 more items and you're at 200, and it makes it pretty simple math. I don't feel like many people talk about that. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how much I actually made, and this is not to brag or anything. This is simply, I just want you to know the realistic truths of what it's like to sell on Depop. I just want to inform you, whether you're thinking about doing Depop or you are currently doing Depop, I just want to let you know how much you can be looking to make, how little you could be looking to make. In the past 30 days on Depop, for my gross pay, I've made $1,901.69. And that's gross. Gross. That's gross. That's kind of, I have such dad humor, so that's funny to me. That's so gross. Anyway, yeah, so I made like $1,900. That's gross, not net. So with my net, I made $1,065.55. So $1,065.55. They took probably just about half of how much I made, which sucks about Depop. That is something that sucks, but if I was to go with Poshmark, I would have probably made like 500. You know, maybe not that drastic, but it definitely would have been way less just because of the percentages they take from you. But that is why I've thought about starting just strictly Instagram. It's just so much more convenient for me at the time because I do also work a job full-time, and I work, and I also go to school full-time, so it's easier for me having a job full-time and school full-time to just had that convenience of not having to do my own shipping. I also just haven't figured out that aspect of it yet. But yeah, that's all the information I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoy, like, subscribe, and you can comment down below any questions you have. I'm totally willing to answer.